Christopher K. Wallace here with another video version of a recent ATM news for Men Who Think. This one's called From Me to We. Defender. Every one of us starts life as a part of our mother. The infant believes the world revolves around him because for a time it truly does. His nervous system is wired for survival, completely fused with his mother's body, voice, scent, and heartbeat. Everything a baby experiences, touch, tone, warmth, and even neglect, begins shaping how his body and brain learn to manage the world. Those experiences create his first neural connections, the first maps of what safety, love, and even threat feel like. As the brain's 86 billion neurons and the body's 2 billion more begin firing together, it denies, distorts, and represses inner and or outer reality to lessen anxiety and depression. All of this helps to keep the child alive long enough to grow. The integrated nervous system, the very structure that filters and organizes our experience, is also known as the ego. And the word ego comes from the Latin word I. It simply means the part of me that experiences the world as me. The ego is not your enemy. In fact, it's very wise. It is the nervous system's way of shielding the mind from overwhelm. It organizes chaos, it filters information, and it builds a story that we can tolerate. The problem comes when we moralize against it, when we treat the ego as something to avoid instead of something to discipline. In truth, the ego is your integrated nervous system doing its job. You don't kill it, nor do you disown it. You train it to serve something higher than fear. That's how we begin the journey from me to we. Let's talk about social reality and how we stay sane. Once a child realizes he is separate from his mother in the first year of life, the real work begins. He starts building his own understanding of the world through experiences. Every sound, every face, every success, and every wound helps wire his brain and body together. This is how we learn to think and learn to feel. The nervous system collects patterns and forms concepts. The brain then uses those conceptual patterns to predict what will happen next. That process creates what neuroscience calls constructed emotion. We don't actually see the world as it is. We see the world as our nervous system learned to interpret it. Each man and woman lives inside his own reality, built from his past. All of our thoughts and feelings are best guesses based on a lifetime database of experiences. This is why no man can fully trust his own perceptions. We can be pretty sure, but just as we can be pretty sure we're missing something. This is where social reality comes in. It happens through conversation, through comparison, through collaboration especially. If you imagine two men walking through a forest, one guy sees something out of the corner of his eye and he says, "Did you see that?" The other guy says, yeah. I saw it. It was just a bird. The two nervous systems line up, safety is restored, and they carry on. This is what we do every day, even without thinking about it. We talk, we listen, and we build shared understanding about things. It's how human beings survived and thrived over hundreds of thousands of years. Our ability to communicate, to work with others, and to agree on meaning allowed us to organize. It allowed us to cooperate, to solve problems far beyond the strengths of any one individual. This is how Team Human eventually built civilizations. We use power to solve problems. We use love to collaborate. Even with outsiders. It's why many of us carry remnant Neanderthal DNA to this day. This is what makes social reality so important. It's how we stay sane and human. A man alone is prone to distortion. A man amongst others increases his odds of being able to see more clearly. So let's get to part 3, paraphrasing, the skill that builds connection. So how do we create this social reality on purpose? An often forgotten tactic is to learn to paraphrase. Paraphrasing is the bridge between me and we. That's the way I'll call it. It's not therapy so much as it's presence. When someone says, "Pass me the condiment," you naturally ask, "Sure, do you want ketchup? Do you want mustard? Do you want relish?" In some ways, that's paraphrasing. You're clarifying meaning because most of what people say is not that clear. It's put out there as a trial balloon. People speak to find out how their words will land. They float an idea, an emotion, or an opinion just to see how safe it is to express. It's helpful to view words as trial balloons floated for feedback. Our need for certainty is so great that we treat what others say as contracts instead, and that's not really helpful. The man who understands this listens differently. He does not retreat, and instead he reflects. He says, so if I'm hearing you right, you're saying, or it sounds to me like this really hit you. Is that about right? Then he pauses. That single pause, that little wait, that moment of disciplined reflection builds trust. Paraphrasing is not weakness. It's strength under control. It gives the other person safety and gives you clarity. It has the power to turn misunderstandings into alignment. Boy, that's pretty strong. It's the single most powerful communication skill a man can master because it trains both nervous systems, yours and theirs, to stay regulated, calm, and connected. Both of you feel heard. So remember, Defender, you began as me, but you grow into we. Stay powerful, true, and free.